The Acolyte Episode 3 is causing all kinds of backlash and division all over the place. We got media fighting with media. We've got fans going after each other. I haven't seen anything like this in a long time. But to be honest, look at this Rotten Tomato score. It is now sunk to 19% for the audience score. Yeah, that's right, 19%. Basically saying nobody really likes this. And again, you got like media people saying, I can't chill for Disney anymore. I hate it. I don't like it. This is the worst Star Wars ever. But before we continue, when I show you all this mess that's out there, let's check on Star Wars Theory and see how he's doing after he watched Episode 3.
Oh my god, dude. Oh my god. What an abhorrent episode. What an absolute mockery of what George Clooney was like. The whole thing was just like a therapy session, essentially, for Leslie Headley.
That bad, huh? Well, if you want to see his entire reaction, you can go to Star Wars Theory's clips and watch the whole thing. Believe me, it might be worth the watch. Anyway, let's get into this. Immediately following the episode, Nerd Cookies took to social media and said the Jedi are the good guys. The end. Understanding that the Acolyte is trying to make the Jedi the bad guys. This post on Twitter, I'm going to call it Twitter, sorry, has exploded. Look at that. You can see it there. 1.9 million is a lot more now. And the comments are the most bizarre thing I have ever seen. Like this one here from Pop says, I bet you also love cops. What in the world does that have to do with Star Wars? And here's another one. Trust me, we could do this all day with this one post. This person writes, if you are an adult and still need stories like this to feel good, I would like you to report to the nearest lobotomy station, please and thank you. There are no good guys. There are no bad guys. Everything is contextual and gray. Get used to it. This is what the Disney Star Wars fan thinks. This is what they wanted. They wanted people to think, oh, no one's bad. No one's good. Everything's gray. Let's enjoy it. Yeah, everything's gray. The storytelling sucks because everything is gray. Yeah, let's just dress everyone as gray. Let's just make everything gray. Let's just keep it boring. And there's no good guys, no bad guys, no hero's journey, none of that. None of that good writing. Let's just keep it gray and depressing and miserable. Quite the fan base you got there, Lucasfilm. Now, this could be my favorite interaction of the week. This is Eric. He's a writer for Forbes. He says these hacks are ruining Star Wars because they can't write. They can't tell stories. They can't avoid plot holes. They can't create compelling characters. And they hide behind their self-righteousness instead of learning from their mistakes. The Acolyte Episode 3. Whew, man, he's just like, I don't care no more. I'm just throwing it out there. But look who responds to this. One of the writers from CBR. That's right, another smaller news outlet, CBR, if you don't know them. He responds, by the way, that hack is a longtime Star Wars fan and someone who openly praises the EU. So again, maybe don't say crap you wouldn't say to Mrs. Headland's face. Wait. You're calling her Mrs. Headland? Ben, your colors are showing, man. Come on, man. Mrs. Headland's face. Well, it continues. Eric, the guy from Forbes, says, dude, make an argument or get out of the building. Ben responds, I will. Just give me a day or so for my own review to come out. Eric says, I honestly don't care, man. Nothing about your tweet gives me any reason to engage with you. This longtime Star Wars fan and struggling YouTuber had his Twitter account suspended because he was complaining about the Acolyte episode 3. It says here that he violated our rules against abuse and harassment. You may not engage in the target harassment of someone or incite other people to do so. To be honest, all he tweeted was a meme. A meme. And this user here posted a horrific run-on sentence, so I'll do my best to read it so we get his point across. Said, the sheer amount of little dude bros losing their marbles because we are finally getting different and more balanced views of the Jedi is frankly delicious. I've been doing nothing but lapping up tears. Well, while you're lapping up tears, do us a favor and learn some grammar. It will help with your post. And now on to the media, which they are doing their best to try to describe episode 3. The Daily Wire here says, Star Wars The Acolyte features 2 lesbian space witches conceiving a child with the Force. This is how a franchise dies. You might be like, well, that's just the Daily Wire, Jay. Of course they're not going to like it. Well, other news outlets are using the space lesbian title as well. Here's another one from Screen Geek. The Acolyte introduces life-creating lesbian witches to Star Wars. And to tell you the truth, the majority of the comments underneath that, people were saying good. About time. About time we had representation in Star Wars. We finally have come to a place where we must know the sexuality of people just to feel represented in a science fiction fantasy. Let's just pull in the real world and put it in our Star Wars because escapism doesn't matter anymore. We now have life-creating lesbian witches. I can't wait for the action figure. Anybody else? Anybody else? You know, what is interesting about posts like this, they never really give points as to why they're enjoying the episode. It's just name calling. They're like, oh, you didn't like it? This is what I think about you. You must be under the impression that I give a F about what a bunch of insecure review bombing clowns think when it comes to art or entertainment. Let me assure you that I do not. It's pathetic. The fact that they can't find affirmation in real life is entirely their own problem. My guy, just attack. That's it. We're just gonna attack. No points. No details as to why you think this is good Star Wars. Just attack. But he doesn't care what I have to say, so we'll move on. Grace Randolph put out a poll because she was also talking about how the majority of people did not like this episode, that they thought it was horrible. So she's like, okay, if nobody's liking the Acolyte, even though I do, let me put out a poll and see what they're excited for. So this is the poll. Are you interested in any upcoming Star Wars projects? 51% out of almost 18,000 votes said no, I'm done. I voted no, I'm done because she didn't put the Rey movie up, because that's the only thing I'm looking forward to after this. Where's the Rey movie? And people are going to be like, well, it was all the crybabies that voted no. So this poll is irrelevant. I mean, when you don't get the results that you want, you pass the blame and dismiss it. Pretty much what Lucasfilm has been doing to the fans this whole time. Now, if you made it all the way to the end of this video, here's a bonus. In my last video, I mentioned Kathleen Kennedy, Dave Filoni, and Leslie Headland all together in this project. I got a lot of pushback. People say, no, not Dave. Not Dave. Stop it, Jay. You're wrong on this one. Well, let me just leave you with this. Leslie Headland says Dave Filoni was a mentor in making The Acolyte. He guided her to include witches that weren't Night Sisters. So you're saying that this was Dave Filoni's idea. Dave Filoni very quickly became kind of a mentor of mine in terms of navigating what this part of the timeline would be like for both the Jedi and then other Force users. He told me, not all witches are Night Sisters. So take that for what it's worth. But I still think Dave Filoni's fingerprints are all over this. And I've got a theory about it in an upcoming video, which will include the Rey movie. Thanks for watching. If you're new here, why not subscribe? We got a lot of Star Wars to talk about, and I'm here for the train wreck, baby. I'm here for it all. I'll catch you on the next one.